Star Trek: The Next Generation was a show.
Star Trek: The Next Generation
everybody
was
I interacted
a show
with
that I started watching when I was a really little kid. Can you believe it's been 30 years? Star Trek: The Next Generation first.
Star Trek: The Next Generation was my life as a kid. It was the escape from reality.
Welcome to Next Generation's First Generation, where Patrick Delmore and Sascha Schaudies take a look back into their favorite childhood show, Star Trek: The Next Generation. This is where we attempt to reconcile how we felt as children watching the show and looking back as old farts now in our late 30s, almost 40s.
Hello, and welcome to the 25th, the penultimate episode of Season 3 of Next Generation's First Generation, a Star Trek Star Trek: The Next Generation watch-along podcast, where we are taking a look at the almost forgotten episode Transfigurations.
Woo!
Which is a Crusher episode, believe it or not.
Yeah?
It's Crusher, and it's Geordi.
Wow.
Yeah, an interesting character mix. And just like in the theme of the last episode, there's a lot of mediocre to this, but there's a lot of family building on this show. Mm-hmm. So I am excited to dig into this with my regular co-host, Mr. Sascha Schaudies.
Well, hi there. Okay, so what are we doing? We are going to give you the countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to push play, and you're welcome to listen along, or you watch along, or you can completely ignore us while we're playing in the background while you're cooking with onions and potatoes, because that's all you got because of the coronavirus.
Yes.
All right, with that, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and play. And unmute.
Yes, unmute.
Captain's log, stardate numbers. They're
back on their mission of exploration instead of diplomatic engagements, as we've seen in the last couple episodes.
We don't really see a lot of exploration on this.
So this here is a callback to an earlier episode where the girl that Geordi was on the holodeck with the violin player, is sitting behind him and Worf. Now she's sitting with this extra that's going to be in another scene. This extra is trying way too hard.
The girl on the left?
Yes. But what would I say? Words come later, says Worf.
Honestly, Worf, I think, is a better grasp on how to approach this than anybody else. I found Geordi's relationship skills not to match up with the age that he's in. Like, these are like high school level questions.
But that's who's watching the show.
True.
And it's really unfortunate because you don't really get to see a wide variety of relationships on Next Generation. On Deep Space Nine, you do.
Yeah.
And I think that the show, honestly, I believe the show Torchwood was created partially to show socially awkward people how to date.
That's right. In fact, one of my favorite Torchwood episodes is when the inventor fell in love with the frozen guy. Like, he only became awake every 5 years or something like that, and they go out on dates. So that the actress who just came up to talk to LaForge, was that the one trying too hard?
No, the extra in the scene.
Oh, I gotcha.
The Asian woman at the table with her. You're going to see her again later in this episode. Really just being like, hey, camera, notice me. Well, the camera did, but that's not necessarily what the director wants.
So here we go. We've beamed down. There's a crash site. They're looking for survivors. This looks very much like the same exact layout of when they find and return Hugh.
Kinda. We haven't gotten there yet, but...
Hey, Hugh! I'm not Hugh. Looks like he was playing a sporting game on the Enterprise with that jumpsuit he's wearing. That could have been like a...
Man, this guy and his jumpsuit and the bulge in his crotch in this episode, it's a little much.
Well, yeah.
A little much.
Well, now you know what it's like for a woman to wear a tight top. You know? That's just what they do. Whoa, why'd they pick Geordi?
Take deep
What?
Youngest.
Back up for just a sec. Not literally,
Yeah.
but what? So they just needed his brain to get the other guy.
No, it's his whole circulatory system getting him going. So Geordi just got zapped with a little bit of light, but it turns out to be a good thing for the entire episode. I really didn't remember this one, so I'm watching it thinking like, when's this going to backfire on Geordi?
Yeah,
it's going to back. It doesn't.
No, I haven't seen
He
this
just had a
episode in at least 5 or 6 years. So
It does him a heap of good.
Okay, well, this is Season 3, Episode 25, Transfigurations, directed by Tom Benko. Benko, that sounds like a new gambling game. You want to go play some Benko later on? Written by Renee Echeverria, I think I said that right, and Dennis McCarthy did the music on this. Now there's a third guy, can I never remember what the third guy's name? It's always Dennis or our other
Ron.
good guy. Yeah, but they do have a third person, so. Yep, this came out on June 17th, 1990, so I hope you're having a wonderful summer day. Graduation season's just about to come around. We have Cole Meany in this episode.
Cole Meany does a lot in this episode, believe it or not.
John Doe is played by a guy called Mark Lamura. Does that ring a bell?
Not any bells that I ever rung.
He was on All My Children for 11 years.
Hey.
Yeah, he portrayed the character Mark Dalton.
Huh.
And he was on that show from 1994 to from 1988 to 94 as a special guest. And he was also on As the World Turns.
That's the same character?
Yeah. No. And on One Life to Live. He was also on 30 Rock and Law and Order. So this guy's
Everybody's on Law and Order. Everybody's on Law and Order.
Oh, I'm not on Law and Order.
You could be if you made a phone call. Probably wouldn't like what they have for you to do on the show, but
I'll probably deliver someone an empty cup of coffee.
yeah, deliver somebody an empty cup of coffee and be like, he was really shifty.
So we're in this new medical lab that we don't see all too often. It only comes out 2 or 3 times. That looks like a very uncomfortable prop to lay on, just a metal grid.
Yeah, ouch.
Autonomic responses are still low. Begin cardiostimulation.
But it's nice to see this new machine in sickbay.
I think this is also the same lab where they replace Worf's spine.
Fortunately, in this episode, they don't need to do that for Worf because he gets hurt real bad in this one.
Yeah, there are actually a lot of really popular memes that have been spurred on because of this episode.
No, this isn't the one you're thinking of.
No, where the barrel versus Worf?
No, this is Worf just falls off of something in this one.
I got you. I'm thinking of the other one.
Yeah.
My bad. My bad.
Oh, so this prop they have. So this is apparently like the data core of the computer on the guy's ship.
Yeah.
Which is liquid. So they carry it around like a football. Picard's got it on the bridge, just holding it in the palm of his hand. They're going to take it into 10 forward and look at it. It's a little bit ridiculous. Like there's a lab you could keep this in and look at it, but no, they're just going to carry it around. It's a casual day on the Enterprise. Mr. Data, catch! Whoop, 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 fumble!
Is it actually full of liquid?
Yeah.
I can't tell. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've got this, they got to go through the thing.
Blue cherry syrup.
Looking at a
The
graph.
best syrup.
Hey, have some water. Thank you, extra. That's a long drink of water there.
Well, Kate McFadden is a tall drink of water, so she needs a long drink. Wah!
There's our disco MRI machine in the background. You stick your head in there. They'll find the tune in your head that's been playing nonstop for 10 years.
Turns out it's the theme to the Flintstones.
Da, 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 da.
Your bioscan came out negative.
But I told you that. I feel great.
Oh, that's the upside for Geordi, is that he's gotten a newfound confidence because he got a little bit of this guy's magic juice through telepathy.
There was major trauma to his head and chest cavity, massive plasma loss, and severe damage to most of his organs.
Does not look good for a friend. All the bad things were just listed
I'm
off.
afraid I can't take the credit for
This is almost like Starfleet ICU.
Yeah, this episode takes place over the course of a month.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because it's this guy's recovery, and Crusher's going to fall in love with him, and Wesley's going to give her his blessing on
Dating him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, there's some really good lighting and color work in these shots. I'm actually starting to think that the full color coordinated outfits are more to make the set look more interesting.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do as much with background props because your eyes are drawn to the primary colors.
I can agree to that. What's funny is that this is right before. Look at this. Here we are in 10 forward with our little machine here. But it's right before Best of Both Worlds, where the lighting totally changes and the uniforms really start to pop.
Yes.
Yeah, the computer still can't analyze.
Worf is not having fun with this.
He
Why
looks,
did you invite me and not Wesley? Wesley knows things about things.
well,
Drinking my drink.
Worf's irritated because he's not about technobabble.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a phase coil for a phaser or a photon torpedo, he ain't gonna deal with it.
I would just love it if some civilian contractor walked over to there. They'd be like, "Hey, commanders, lieutenant, what do you got there? What's that blue thing? Can I poke at it?" Oh, Worf also uses the line, "Less talk, more synthahol" in this scene, which is kind of great.
I forgot about that.
I need a mug that says that on it.
Less talk.
More synthahol.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Worf.
We came here to
Michael Dorn does a lot of really good acting with his eyes.
He does.
One of his complaints about wearing all that makeup is that he felt that it kind of hurt his ability to act.
Well, they changed how it worked a lot.
Yeah.
There's that same extra behind Geordi here. Look at her. I'm going to lean forward on my hand, point at you.
So you think that was the overacting scene right there?
Yeah.
I was just on my way down to the airport.
Would you care as a company?
There we go.
I didn't think you were interested in that kind of
Aw, poor guy.
See, this is all really natural, and I like this. Now the whole holding hands part, that's a little overdone.
And that's the other thing about it being so high school, is it's like, how often does it happen in adult relationships that that somebody would say to you, "I'm very interested in you, but I didn't think that you were interested in me."
Right.
Like that. It does when you're kids.
You know, it happened to me actually in high school. I was
Right.
at a party, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to walk down to the Chevron for some cigarettes. Do you want to come with?" And next thing I know, that person saw it as "Hey, I'm interested in you. I want to spend some time."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it didn't lead to anything, but I got that vibe like, I flipped somebody's switch unintentionally. But that doesn't happen nowadays. I like his face makeup. It's you think that's just stage putty there?
Oh, for sure. He's got like a kind of a shaped foundation underneath the makeup, and
Thank you, my wife.
yeah. Now after having laid on that mesh, he's got himself lying on
An egg crate.
Egg crate, yeah.
Well, it's actually more like a soundproofing material.
Soundproofing material and egg crate, I think, are the same thing.
I wonder if they gave Gates McFadden that turquoise blue outfit to contrast on her red hair.
Yep.
I'm wondering.
Yep. I'm almost sure they did.
Had she been not a redhead, do you think that they would have given the science and medical department a completely different?
No, because medical was always blue. I mean, they changed command to
Are you
red.
experiencing any discomfort?
I guess so. Yeah. Look at those weights in the back. They have a weight rack
Yeah.
in the back. That's great.
Your neurofibers-
I hope they don't have shake weights there in
No.
that far.
Shake weight. You were never exercise equipment at all.
Should give you and your colleagues something to talk about.
You are all we've talked about since your arrival.
Oh, look at those bangs.
Yep.
Those are 80s bangs right there. Well, actually no, that's a very 90s haircut the extra's wearing. With the ponytail and the big...
Well, it probably was...
Provide you with
Depending on when they filmed this, it might have still been 1989.
True. Well, that was the fashion
I
back
mean, the
then.
90s,
Big
the
hair.
90s came upon slowly. We haven't quite hit grunge yet.
So don't be disappointed if the first year mobility is restricted.
Yeah, most of us were just hanging out in Aberdeen, not doing much, messing around in our parents' garage, playing instruments.
Makes me think of the theme to Clarence.
Oh, yeah. Now that piece of equipment back there actually looks like a real piece of medical equipment, where the chair is and
Yeah.
that device hanging down.
That looks like something an ophthalmologist would have.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm surprised she's not using a gait belt right there. So do you know what a gait belt
I do know
is?
what a gait belt is because, as you know, I work in a hospital, so I see them all the time. You go by the physical therapy area, see a lot of kids walking with them.
So a gait belt is just a really loose-fitting belt around your upper waist or rib cage, where if your client has a hard time walking, you can literally grab the belt and kind of assist them and stabilize them. But of course, it doesn't look good for future TV where you can just do a quick catch.
Well, I don't know when those were created either.
They've been around for a while. I found a really old one the other day. It must have been at least 20 years old when I was cleaning out an office.
This leather, a little bit of blood on it.
This guy is so lucky that he's falling in just the right place when he gets to.
Yep.
where
Well, they
people
both
are
know how to.
standing.
They both know how to catch him just right. You'll see him fall a few times. Everybody knows how to catch him right.
I would have loved. I bet you originally that it was called for Riker to do this scene. He's like, "Wait, catching somebody? No."
Yeah. Trained physical actors.
Unfortunately, Captain, my memories begin the moment I woke up in sickbay.
So John Doe here has amnesia.
Told me you think I was in some kind of battle. What about you?
No. We didn't say battle. We said rattle.
Or what happened?
Your brain was rattled.
Rattled. This guy was in The Sopranos too.
Huh.
And he was a theatrical Shakespeare player.
Yep.
Hey!
He's in The Sopranos. He played Jimmy Don't Remember so good.
That'd be funny.
Reestablish themselves naturally. That same pain.
Yes.
So basically, he's got space multiple sclerosis.
And CRS disease.
Yeah,
I think this has something to do with the continuing mutation of his cell structure.
You still have no theory as to what's causing it?
It doesn't make any sense.
There seems to be a mystery.
This is Star Trek, Doctor. Few things make sense.
And it's moving so slow. Even Picard looks bored there. Like they have to have an extra long shot on the turbo lift placard because they need to fill the episode.
This is fun. I always feel kind of bad, and I've mentioned this before for any time, that Geordi and Riker have to be alone together. Because Geordi's got to just put up with a lot of Riker's moods.
Right.
And
You're never gonna get calm even Riker. You're gonna see a smirk on his face that just says, "Oh, I caught you doing something."
yep.
You would miss him show up and sing about each other. Every night this week. Is that all?
You know,
Walking around with a smile.
the way you listen to Riker talk, he really holds you hostage.
He does.
You can't really say much, either yes or no, to affirm whatever he just said.
Changes you. Me.
I can just hear, like, right before, she's like, well, I'm going to get off the turbo lift. Want to come back to my quarters? As long as my CO isn't on the other side of that door when it opens.
Would have been even more hilarious is as she's walking out, she kind of does, "Well, hi there, Commander." You know, just kind of like
that would have destroyed Geordi.
It really would have. It really would have. But at the same time, it would have played to the strength of the Riker character. Oh, this starts a thing with Miles.
Yes. So this carries all the way over into
Deep Space
Deep Space Nine, which he likes these high-intensity holodeck programs. And we posted the meme where they joke about how Sadiq Al-Fayel is in his
7:30 sharp.
is dressed like Cole Meany is here when they're playing tennis, but Cole Meany is wearing like regular 20th century tennis clothes.
That's right. That's right.
But back
Not bad.
back a handful of years before that, Cole Meany would put on a windsurfing outfit for his kayaking.
I think that's supposed to be a wetsuit.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc, I'm dying out here.
Oh, here we go. I'm just gonna touch
I can
you.
heal you by touch, my friend.
Don't worry, my friend. We'll be all right.
We saw the magic glow. So, in previous seasons, it was the electric blue light effect. Here, it is the soft golden glow.
What did you do?
Something.
It was instinct. I just touched him.
That could get you in trouble
I
another
know.
place. It was just instinct. I want to touch you. Yeah, wouldn't play out too nicely.
Yeah.
Here's
Wesley, how would you feel about having a little brother or sister?
Test and scan on him.
Are you just having another kid because you think I'm going to die? No, Wesley, no.
Well, buying another bed would be really expensive, so
It looks like his mom made him cocoa in the replicator.
it did.
Yeah.
That's a cool table.
Yes.
I've always liked the furniture, with the exception of the color choices.
They've
really do like the
yeah,
furniture.
pink lemonade and a beaker.
And serenity that I find very attractive.
It's like, I love hearing about your relationships, Mom.
Yes, I find intriguing.
Well,
Seems like
what about the doctor-client professional boundary
Is this
here?
your way of asking me if I'm getting romantically involved with him?
You said it, I didn't.
My
No, she's just saying she likes him.
odd
You can be a doctor and go home and say that you have a patient that you like a lot of things about, as long as you're not talking about their medical history.
True. I think if I started making that kind of commentary about the patients I work with, I think I'd get fired pretty damn quick.
Yeah. And that it would probably squick out your wife.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think I understand.
Look at that smile. I actually do like the relationship. It's
Pardon
real
me.
too. Hey, so I dropped this thing in the hallway and now it seems to work.
I was thinking about the storage.
Yeah.
So when I was in college, I bought a rebuilt Dodge Neon.
Yeah.
Like it had been totaled and it was rebuilt and they sold it to me for $2,000. But the AC never worked. Well, one day I accidentally had the car in drive when I thought it was in reverse, and I ran over a railroad tie acting as a parking bumper.
Oh dear.
And ever since that moment, the air conditioning worked
That's
on that
great.
car.
That's great.
So I'm wondering if LaForge did the same thing. I could just see him in the turbo lift kind of just tossing it to himself like a set of keys, and it hit the ground and then lit up. Actually, all they really did was they added a little Wi-Fi connection to the end. I think that's the top of a hypo spray.
Yeah.
Match these star shots. Computer.
Well, I was over at my girlfriend's house, and this thing was next to the bed, and we decided to have a little bit of fun. What do you know?
Wow.
I'm not giving up yet, not after coming so close to
Now I need to ask Dr. Crusher if she has a topical ointment.
information from John Shipley without a frame of
Woo, woo.
reference. I can't determine its origin.
Would you like an analgesic cream?
Yeah,
That seems to be the go-to for everything.
pretty much.
And derive gravitational values for stellar objects.
Now, at this point, I'd want to pull out a linguistic expert, because I'm sure that you could decode that language pretty quick.
Possibly a pulsar. Which means that this might
But I like the stellar overlay. This is how they found Pluto. I don't know if you knew that.
Is it?
So, they still do this now, but it was kind of a new thing. So they'd take pictures of the sky every night, and then they'd just flip the image back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and look for the most subtle of changes. And that's how they found Pluto, because it was moving across the sky.
project the flight path back to its origin.
I thought it was because they figured out something about how Neptune's moons orbit, and they're like, okay, there must be a body that's, this size next to him.
That could be it too. But I do know, I guess the bigger point I'm trying to make is flipping between images
Yeah.
and looking for the difference is how they identify some of these celestial bodies. Yeah, they totally just stuck a hypo on the end of that thing. I would have loved to be a prop guy on this show.
Yes. Using the information we found in your escape pod, we may be able to attend to your people.
Oh, that's a bad idea. Don't take me back to my people.
I cannot go back.
But you gotta go back. We want to know stuff about you.
Take me home, Captain.
John.
Like, are you a weirdo or are you like them?
All I know is that we came out here to escape.
I'm hearing John's voice, and he so sounds like another character in Trek somewhere.
I can't think of who.
What happened to the others?
Right?
Or what
I wonder how easily it is to move from soap opera to space opera and back as a
Pretty
as an
easy,
actor.
I would
You
imagine.
must not
Because it's a really specific formula on how they act on Trek. It's not that they're bad actors, it's that there's a very we are doing it this way in this
Will
tone.
give us plenty of time to discuss this further.
Hopefully by then we'll
She looks really concerned.
Right, of course, Captain. I apologize.
Well, she'd like for him to be there forever. She likes him.
It's understandable.
So what she could do is find a way to slow down his progress or even injure him some more. And it turns into like a Stephen King.
Yeah.
You're not
Munchausen syndrome.
Yep. Well, no, Munchausen syndrome is where you tell tall tales, right?
Ah.
Whereas you have a person who convinces that you are ill or that
That's Munchausen by proxy.
Ah. So we got more of that glowing effect. He really does have a heart of gold, doesn't he?
Yes.
We're
Cue
getting,
the Neil Young music.
we're getting a lot of 10 forward action here. I'm surprised they didn't bring in Whoopi for this.
This is your first day out of sick bay, and I don't want you to overexert yourself.
Saving Whoopi for next week.
The Whoopi cushion.
Well, this is the thing. It's like Whoopi would just have cut through. You can't have Whoopi Goldberg show up for everything or Guinan show up for everything because she cuts through all the red tape of everything that's going on.
She'll move the plot along way faster.
Yeah, she'd be like, "No, you can't take him home. You need to do this with him." And yeah, Dr. Crusher, he's like, light years beyond anything you're ever going to be, and sorry, you're going to have to say goodbye to him.
And yet they work
It
together.
looks like Pog in those glasses.
It is
You remember Pog?
new.
Pog.
It was a frozen fruit drink.
And somehow
Like it was in there with the frozen orange juice and grape juice in the refrigerator.
I remember Pog being those.
the little coins.
Yeah.
But it was also
for one
maybe it wasn't Pog.
terrifying moment there was
Oh, this is killing me. But it was like pineapple, guava, orange juice, and a couple
Pineapple,
other-
orange, guava, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it being called Pog.
and then it was gone.
So every time he uses his power, his light up power, he has a memory of where he came from, and then it goes away.
And every time he has a light up experience, there's a little bit of mutation too.
The friendship we've developed has made me very happy.
Aw.
So my first question is, were you unhappy before?
She probably was.
It's some kind of a journey. It brought me here. Whatever is happening.
It's
That's something we didn't talk about in the episode before this, but as a parent, what would you think about what the decision that Wesley made?
that would have
He's supposed to go to Starfleet.
really upset me.
Yeah.
In fact, he's chosen at least 2 times to stay on the ship
Sir,
so
I'm
far.
reading about
So it makes me reevaluate her conversation about her attraction to John Doe. It's like, maybe if I make it uncomfortable for him here, because nobody else is going to do it. Hey, stay on the ship, stay up with your mom drinking cocoa and talking about her romantic exploits.
There you go.
Or you could go to Starfleet Academy where, guess what, Wesley? There's girls your age.
No. But when she came back in the beginning of this season, that was the first thing she said in that episode was, "See, he's hanging out with girls his age. Now that's healthy."
Yes.
So the important part of the plot, they're wrapping up the plot, is that this mystery ship is approaching at warp 9.72, which seems like a big
It's
deal.
zipping along.
Oh, we had a heart of gold seizure here. I guess guess it's equivalent to a seizure.
Yep.
When they just
A CG.
your system is just so flooded with information, it bonks out.
A petite mal seizure. if
There's
you will.
there's your bulge hidden by the subtitles.
Oh yeah, no.
He kind of looks like a big marshmallow right there.
He's packing marshmallows. Not in a place you ever want to eat them, but
He's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
yeah, it puts us on the Stay Puft.
Oh, we can find a roasting stick.
Oh Lord, it's getting real turned on by the lights. This is terrible.
So where is he running to?
I wouldn't be able to run that fast in his condition, I don't think.
So why would she have to call security? Oh, he wants to leave the ship. That's it. There's the Elbaz. Now there was when I bought my car several years ago, I was looking to give it a name, and so I started looking up all the names of the shuttlecraft in Next Gen, and I none of them really stuck to me, to tell you the truth. But I found it interesting that they named all the shuttlecraft after famous people in science. Oh, there we go.
Whereas the runabouts are named after rivers.
That's correct. In fact, there's a joke. Kira says, "Good thing Earth has so many rivers with the rate of runabouts we're losing."
Leave the control booth immediately.
It's kind of odd that Worf has to leave the cargo bay, take the elevator up.
Yeah, that the entrance that's got a separate entrance outside. Actually, it's got a separate turbo lift going up. It would have been interesting if it had been like stairs or something.
Right. Well, it still has to be ADA accessible. Now, I could understand that if this was like a pressurized hallway, so in case the cargo bay was depressurized, the control room would still be pressurized.
Yes.
And then that second entrance would make a lot of sense.
Yes, that would.
So here is a preview of things to come, folks.
Please stay away.
Worf has a chronic back problem.
But you must return to sickbay immediately.
So why does he have his weapon out?
Exactly what I was going to say, Sasha.
You don't do that to somebody who's afraid. And there you go. So that's good acting. That is definitely a stunt double right there. Yeah. That is not Michael Dorn. That's Michael Dorn.
Yeah.
His neck is broken. No life signs. Sickbay, former resuscitation team. I have a code 7 in shuttle bay 2. Transporter room standby. No doubt.
Let me touch him.
Well, this is a good hunch on her part.
Yeah.
Only because she saw the regenerative effects. So this is classic television. You have to demonstrate the tool's function before you integrate it into the plot.
But if his neck was broken, he'd need to align his neck correctly, and doing that wouldn't fix it. Or either that or it's like, okay, well now he's alive, but don't move him because we got to fix his neck.
Right. If anything, as a doctor, I would not have let Worf sit up like that.
No.
Like, just stay where you are.
I was thinking exactly that she's already got the medical team on the way.
Yes.
So I'll ask you again, why?
But it's television. Oh, we've got the bossy Picard. I don't know how I feel about.
And helium.
I'm not forgetting that. That's the reason he's here and not in the room.
What do you call this type of Picard? The jerk Picard, the Inquisitive.
I'm not
Picard?
sure what's going on, so I gotta just rapid fire questions at everybody until I figure it out.
But he's really bossy.
But that's why Riker's not in the room, because he would just throw it in a direction that it doesn't need to go in.
Yeah. Well, whenever Riker's in the room, Picard is not a dick.
Yeah, because Picard's going to be the calming influence on Riker. But yeah, with this, he's like, "That's one of my officers, mister.
There you go.
You got to account for yourself."
I wonder if there's an unwritten rule there can only be one jerk in the room at a time.
Isolate myself.
There can be only one.
As Lieutenant Worf discussed.
So this gentleman is calling himself out. Hey, you gotta leave me alone. I'm dangerous to people. I just knocked your guy off the stairwell and I healed him, but, you know, he's lucky that I felt like helping him out because I didn't have to. So you should be giving me a medal or something. So now the other ship is here. The meeting has been broken up. But we do have time to thank him for a testimonial that his product works.
It's like, I'm one of 3 lieutenant commanders on this ship, and I get, like, the least amount of dates. Even Data does better than me. But this month, wow.
You've really helped my numbers, man.
It's like, and, you know, I would have just been, Geordi, the power was in you all along.
Not only does he have a bulge, he has a camel toe.
Yeah.
If you noticed, that was...
Poor guy. I mean, he's wearing underwear under it, but still.
Yeah.
It's not wearing flattering underwear under it.
We are really body shaming this poor guy.
That's okay. We body shamed Loxana on the last episode a little bit. We need to be equal opportunists.
There we go. That's kind of a cool ship. It looks like the Plague ship from season 1, but without the big ball on it.
Yes.
Huh. I remember that ship being a lot cooler the last time I watched this. Like, it was big and menacing, about the same size as the Enterprise.
It's dangerous.
All dangerous you.
I am Commander Sunad of Zalcon.
Oh, we've seen this guy in other Trek before. I think he's playing an uncredited role here.
Huh.
I'm Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the United Federation of Planets. We do not intend transgression of the
You will return him to us immediately.
Oh, we've seen him in Voyager.
Huh.
They were.
Shipwreck. You've returned him to health.
No, I can't place it. Oh, this is killing me. If you know, right into the show.
We eliminated the other 3. We thought this one dead as well. Return him so we
Well,
complete our task.
the cool thing is that he's being upfront. He's like, hey, we need to kill this guy. He's in our jurisdiction. Please bring him back.
He encourages dissent. He disturbs the natural order of our society.
In what way?
It is not
I'm not going to tell you what.
I will give you 2 hours to comply.
That's a lot of time. 2 hours.
Tactical analysis.
That's generous.
They can blow us out of the sky.
Zelkonian. Did they know they were Zelkonian before they approached?
They don't know anything about the Zelkonian.
It's all brand new.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they're out
They
there.
just,
Right?
yeah, that drive that they were playing with took them to an uncharted area of space. This is technically that was a first contact that they just had.
That's just a really crappy first contact.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I wonder if Picard's just kind of kicking himself like, damn, I screwed it up. Yeah, that's totally the Plague ship without the sphere from season 1. Oh, it's our briefing. You know something's going to happen. They're in the conference room.
Their accusations may be true, I don't know.
Maybe. Well,
Well, this goes into the classic how I feel versus what I've done.
Yep.
Which is really funny because part of my job is helping people understand what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
And also address how they feel, but you've got to live up to your responsibility, to your actions. But the unique case is here is he doesn't know what he's done.
Did you watch When They See Us?
No, I have not.
All right.
My survival is vital.
When They See Us, very good. Patrick Delmore endorses When They See Us on
Mhm.
Netflix.
Well, Picard's got a big decision to make. Are they going to pull out the asylum card? I can't remember. It's interesting how he held her hand
Yeah.
for a brief moment.
Please consider all options, Doctor, and not let our personal feelings impede our judgment.
You're going to tell me it's irrelevant that we'll be sending him to his death.
Whether we have proven his outgoing intention is not the issue. For what it's worth.
They haven't pulled out the Prime Directive yet. I'm surprised they haven't.
That his existence has broader ramifications than that of a simple criminal.
They technically haven't interfered in their society.
Not yet. Well, I think that if he doesn't turn him over, it
Yeah,
will
if they don't
become-
allow the execution, they will have.
it will be interference.
Yes, Doctor. I know how I would feel if the situation were reversed. They were in our territory holding a Federation citizen.
That'd be an act of war if the tables were turned.
In their eyes,
That's probably one of the best things that Riker's ever said.
I saved his life. For what? So that they could chase him down and take away that life again?
This would happen so often, where they would have to turn people over to be killed all the time. And it does. I mean, they have several episodes about this where they, debate the morality of it like crazy. But I wonder...
Picard, we will not tolerate more delay.
It's an extradition treaty. Well, think of it this way. If you're a United States citizen and you travel and you break somebody's law, you're held accountable to that law. Just because you're an American doesn't mean you're protected from crazy laws. Good example is that kid who died in North Korea for stealing a poster.
Yeah.
Remember where he was in jail for several years and then died of a mysterious infection.
But before I return,
He died stateside, though. We could-
Yeah, they really, I think what it was, they realized how sick this guy was and said, we better send him home so his death isn't on our hands.
Yeah.
It is not your concern.
agreed. However, there are circumstances which should be unaware. The survivor.
I mean, that's the thing, is it's like, there does need to be some level of respect for other cultures. He didn't show it and thought that, he'd be okay, and...
Since his recovery, he's manifested.
Oh, so
Oh, said the wrong thing to this guy.
Picard is laying out everything that he's seen. He's become Jesus. He's a healer.
To reverse death itself.
Walk on water.
Interrupted you as well. I see I'm wasting my time.
Alright, so now this guy is clearly assaulting the ship. He's going to make every single person... He's force choking the whole ship.
This is kind of cool, yeah.
Now, good thing Data isn't on the bridge, because you think Data would just be able to
They just left,
take
they
control?
just left Data out of it, because it's like, well, what?
They can't explain that.
Yeah.
If he does it that way,
Yeah,
it's going to take him a long
Exactly,
time.
he wouldn't be able to save everybody.
Because what
not
is it?
doing that.
Six minutes to live. You start the clock, and you are dead after 6 minutes.
Yikes.
What is it? 3 minutes to 4 minutes is loss of consciousness, I believe.
I did not realize it was that quick.
I mean, you are... The respiration cycle is really dependent on the respiration part.
Huh.
In fact, the urge that you get to breathe, Patrick,
Uh-huh.
is due to a buildup of the acidity in carbon dioxide.
Huh.
That is a built-in reflex. So when you
So he just touched the side of the ship and fixed everybody.
there we go. He gave him the brush. Hey,
Data
wait,
was on the ground.
but they didn't show what he did.
No.
Or maybe it
That's
could have been
kinda
better
weird.
where Data was just checking out all the people on the bridge. Like, hey, what's happening?
I mean, that would be kind of awful if that guy could just snap his fingers and, like, Data's head blows up.
Oh, he teleported the guy.
Do not be afraid. I won't hurt you. Kill him, Captain. He's evil. You could learn from these people sooner.
I love how the good and evil outfits going on, the light and the dark.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, that fabric that guy's got all over his shoulders, it's like very 90s fabric pattern. I haven't been in a fabric store in more than 25 years, but I used to go in with my mom and look for, like, patterns for shorts. I'm sure my father probably had a pair of muscle pants that looked just like this guy's shoulder pads.
This guy's outfit, not John's, but the evil commander here, he would actually translate really well into Total Recall.
For sure.
We were dangerous, so they destroyed.
Actually, we had a couple of Star Trek actors in Total Recall.
Yep, Commander Shelby and, what's her name? Sonia Gomez.
Yep, and the stratagem guy, he's in there.
Yep.
And Baldy, he's in that 70s show. He was also in the Voyager series.
Yeah. Well, we will get to... This is a weird shot.
They're just
Like everybody's listening to the speech. But we'll get to Total Recall very soon.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you hear this, in fact, it'll probably already have been recorded.
That'll be great. Well, they had to pan over everybody's face to see the emotional righteousness of this guy's quest to become a self-actual being. And now he's more or less turned into, maybe this is a Q-like creature?
This looks a lot better in SD than it does in HD, because in SD you can just tell he's wearing a body stocking and they've got him illuminated. Actually, no, you can tell here in SD that he's just in a big body stocking, too.
But others will listen now that you can no longer prevent.
This was the, except that they had faces for a long time. This was who sold you GE products on TV.
Oh, no.
Remember that?
No.
Yeah, it was a family. Like, you'd open up your overhead lights in your house, where your fluorescent lights are, and there'd be a bunch of them in there.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to Google that now.
Yeah.
I still want to make a golden showers joke, but I don't know how to tell it. It's...
on a new realm, a new plane of existence.
I'm still stuck on the whole marshmallow joke. Oh, wow.
You're privileged to have been present at the emergence.
You ever notice how the Federation always likes to tell New Life how it's my job to find you?
Yeah.
Like
but then it's like the next morning they're just going to wake up and be like, you know, they're not going to think about this at all. Of all the things that ever happened to the Enterprise, this is like not a big thing.
No, not at all.
I mean, again, they spent a month with him. It wasn't just 45 minutes like we saw. But no true lasting effect.
They had a great relationship that turns out to be non-lasting.
Yeah.
And there they go.
It zips out through the top.
You know, we've seen a lot of creatures zip out like that. Troy's baby.
Yeah.
He came in.
He didn't realize how
cold.
cold space was. He just goes out like a candle.
Yeah.
Well, that was the end of him.
No. Maybe he's another ghost candle in the waiting.
Okay. How many Stay Puft marshmallows do you give this one, Sasha?
I give it 2, and one hangs a little lower than the other.
Yikes! Yeah, I will also give it 2. I liked, again, you could cobble the Wesley and Dr. Crusher stuff together to be a B-plots thing. Worf was great doing character stuff in this. Worf and Geordi. I would have liked the episode to have been about Geordi and his relationship with that girl.
Now, here's my theory. You take this episode and the previous episode, Menage a Troy, and you marry the 2 B-plots together, and you would have had a standalone episode there as well.
I still think it would have been shorter than 43 minutes.
You think?
I think.
Well, you know, I think that you're right. It's really interesting. It's a lot of, hey, here's what we do in our downtime episode.
But it's the run-up to Best of Both Worlds, which will be next week.
Oh, my goodness.
And we should have a good cast of people here to record that.
Well, what makes Best of Both Worlds such an impacting episode is that you've yanked someone out of the family. And they have 2 episodes, this one and the previous one, that kind of build up the family.
Yes.
So do you think that was intentional?
It wasn't, and when they were putting out the episodes, no, it wasn't. But as we'll see as we move into season 4, because of what they did in Best of Both Worlds, they had to have kind of a cap on that episode about home and what everybody's relationships mean to each other. And these 2 the 2 episodes that we've just watched, Menage a Troy and Transfigurations, helped that a little bit. Whether on purpose or not. But yeah, only I still think Menage a Troy is probably a little bit better than Transfigurations. So yes, 2 stars for this one from me.
Yeah, and 2 for me. Well, that just about wraps it up, folks. We'd like to say thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.
Why am I interviewing you guys?
So you're the guest.
So Sasha, what's
So-
Star Trek?
Hi,
Next
I am the
Generation?
guest.
So, Sasha, what is Star Trek Next Generation?
Seek us out at Next Generation's First Generation at iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Music credits include Electric Car by Poddington Bear, Broke for Free, As Colorful as Ever, Glass Android by Lee Rosevere, Drops of H2O by Jay Lang. Audio engineering by Sascha Shouties. Chief Meme Maker and episode cover credit goes to Matthew Kirschner. Logo and graphic art design credit goes to David Clawwitter. And special thanks to Patrick Delmore for working with other podcasts to make sure the good word gets out.
Do you have a podcast that you think people should be listening to? Send us your promos and we'll play them on the show. If you'd like to email the show, you can email us at nextgenfirstgenpod@gmail.com. I've been Patrick Delmore.
And this is Sascha Shouties. Thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful day.
Good night.